Hello and welcome to my tiny tarot practice. I'm Amelia Fruby, and on this show we reflect on each card of the tarot with short episodes exploring their imagery and themes. We're currently in the 5th and final season of the show, exploring the major arcana. This season is presented by Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor. Today's card is the Hanged One. In the Rider-Waite-Smith edition of the tarot, this card features a person hanging upside down from a cross. One of their legs has a rope around the ankle and it's outstretched hanging toward the top of the cross, and then their body extends below that. Their other leg is bent at the knee, so their legs make almost a figure 4 shape. And then their body below that is dressed in a blue cloak. Their arms are outstretched but bent at the elbow so that their hands are behind their back. And we see a bright yellow light, an orb around their head. Common themes for this card are inversion and suspension, also spiritual awakening. When I pull this card, I often like to think of it literally. Like, where do I need to get upside down? Or perhaps I need to go do a physical inversion of my body, whether that might be a downward dog or legs up the wall if you have a somatic or yoga practice. I think that this card invites us to flip the right side up into the upside down. And while the name of this card may suggest a rather gruesome imagery, the figure in the card looks very serene. They appear to have accepted this position, perhaps even chosen it. In Tarot for the Hard Work, Maria Menes writes, "The Hanged One's calm suspension suggests radical acceptance despite discomfort. To accept the right now, they must live in the right now. The Hanged One doesn't fight their inverted position, but rather remains calm while gazing at their familiar yet clearly different surroundings. Physical disorientation might seem like adversity, but this archetype finds peace and hope in knowing that nothing is always as it initially appears at face value." And so in this card, then I think we have this moment of suspension amidst discomfort. I think of it often as a pause, and it can be really uncomfortable to pause. It can be uncomfortable to rest in our world of constant productivity and forward motion. But so often our lives call for this moment of radically reorienting our perspective, of getting upside down or turning the world upside down. And one way that this can take shape is in a spiritual awakening. As Rachel Pollack writes in 78 Degrees of Wisdom, the reversal of physical posture serves as a very direct symbol of the reversal of attitude and experience that comes through spiritual awakening. Where everyone else is frenzied, you will know peace. What a beautiful gift, right? Where everyone else is frenzied, you will know peace. Coming after justice, I think this card is once again a reminder to recenter in our own values and in who we are, even when it seems like we are doing the opposite of what society or other people say or think we should do. Even when we seem upside down to everyone else, we can find peace in ourselves and in knowing ourselves, in being in integrity with ourselves, as I spoke about with justice. And when we have that spiritual awakening, when we feel that enlightenment of our own integrity on the deepest level, we are lit up from within, even when it's uncomfortable. That inner light can bring us ease, even in discomfort. And sometimes all that requires is a different point of view. So if I pull this card in a challenging moment or situation, I always like to ask myself, what if this was easy? What if this wasn't so hard? What if? If I radically change my perspective on the situation, does everything else shift in response? Now, of course, this is challenging work. Many of us go to therapy for years and years and years to reframe or rewrite the stories of the hardship or traumas in our lives. And I don't think this card is saying that you can heal or resolve every issue in your life or in society by flipping upside down. But I think it's an invitation to consider whether that's a possibility. And I can say that for myself, this card has sometimes been a confrontation to challenge me to change my perspective, even when I didn't believe that was possible. A challenge to find just the tiniest opening for a different orientation toward hardship. Just the tiniest moment of ease or peace that I could find, even when everything felt awful. So even when this card feels confronting to me, I've found that it brings great solace. And that, I think, is the magic of the Hanged One. After we have been humbled by the wheel of fortune and justice, it once again reminds us of how powerful it is just to change our perspective. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of my Tiny Tarot Practice. If you enjoyed this reflection on the Hanged One, I think you will really enjoy Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor. Cecily is our presenting sponsor for this season, and this book that she's created really encompasses a whole course in the tarot, taking you through the major and the minor arcana card by card with reflection prompts, creative practices, and more. If you'd like to support this podcast and Cecily's work, you can head to the show notes to find an exclusive discount code and get your own copy of the book. In working through the book, I've experienced my own Hanged One moments where I've been invited to consider how I might change my perspective. And I'll invite you into that practice as well by posing the question, what if?